I normally know how I want to start off my Helldivers videos, but today I'm just at a loss for words. I mean, where do you begin with this update? How about with... We're so f***ing back, baby! Welcome to the channel. This is LtBuzzLitebeer, and I got you there just a little bit on that intro. Go ahead and admit it. It's Buffdiver Day +1. The clips are rolling in. Twitter is going nuts. Reddit is nuts. The comment sections are slaying it. Arrowhead finally did the impossible. That's right. They listened to the community and they implemented those changes, and the results show. Now, I called it a few days ago when I said that this update could be the single biggest turnaround for a game in a compressed time frame the gaming industry has ever seen. And I know it's only been 24 hours, but damn, it feels good. We've got a ton of post-patch goodies to cover today, but before we begin, in case you haven't done so already, take just a moment to hit subscribe. It's free, and it helps promote this video and the channel to the far reaches of YouTube. And while you're at it, take a few seconds more to ring that notifications bell so you never miss my latest upload alerts. And it's time to get stuck into our favorite democracy-spreading shooter, Buffdivers. Now, I know that yesterday's patch was not perfect, and believe me, I'm not claiming it was, and we'll talk about that in a moment, but the undeniable rush of finally feeling powerful has been more than enough for many players, and I've got some thoughts on it all. Let's call them suggestions on certain aspects of those changes, you know, ways to kind of improve them. But first, we need to talk about the current major order, because this MO is structurally different than anything we've seen in the past with Helldivers. Normally, we see a certain number of planets that we have to liberate or defend, or a certain number of kills that we have to achieve through those kill counts. But with this current major order, which has about 6-ish days to go as of the time of this recording, all this is control and command. Be in control, liberate more planets than your enemy. It's really that simple. And I've received some DMs from people thinking that this is overly complicated, or maybe it's a trap. It's not. Just get out there, use your new weapons, use your new strats, use your new support weapons, kick some ass, liberate some planets. As long as we have more than the enemy at the end of the major order, we win. And at that point, you pick up 55 medals. It's really that simple. Also, today's daily or personal major order is to kill 200 enemies using the machine gun. Make sure that's the machine gun. It's not the HMG, it's not the Stalwart, it's the machine gun. Remember, that's also shared across the squad. And once you're done, you're going to pick up those 15 medals for tomorrow's War Bond release. Okay, full stop on the current major order. No more discussions on the galactic map. Let's talk about the good stuff. The stuff you want to talk about. Yesterday's, what do we call it? Massive, monumental, game-changing update to Helldivers 2. And believe me, I have been living in the comments sections. I've been doing so quietly. I've been just checking out what the community's been saying. Believe me, Reddit is saying just tons of positive things. Twitter is ablaze with just how good this update is. Even my own video comment sections are just gushing with praise for this. This is what we wanted, right? This was the return to Helldivers 1. I have gone in versus the bugs, versus the bots, Helldive, Super Helldive, messing around with all the weapons, and other than a few suggestions I'd like to make, there's some really positive changes to this update. And it's been a while since I've been able to say that about Helldivers. Like, this just kicks ass. I don't think there's any other way I can just say it so quickly. This kicks ass. But, of course, with all of those changes being implemented into the game, all those hot fixes, all those crash fixes, Arrowhead broke something. And this had to do with the Shield Gen Pack, which, by the way, if you haven't logged in today, there's a small update you need to download to fix that. So there's actually two portions to today's update. First, they fixed the crash during host migration when a new player joins, which I think we've seen in the past many times. But the second portion was this one concerning the Shield Gen Pack, and I'll talk about it in a moment. Helldivers were accidentally granted the shield gen packs from General Brash's personal stash. I love the way they play that off. These are reserved for 10-star generals only, which, by the way, I reached rank 130, so I am technically now a 10-star general. I think I need one of these God mode gen packs in my stash. I'm just saying, Arrowhead, you need to make it happen. It says the workers at the distribution center have been sent to re-education camps, oof, and regular shields will resume distribution. So, what made this shield so damn good? Well, if you were rocking this shield versus the bugs, they could not melee through it. You could run into a pack of warriors, alpha brood commanders, hunters all over you. They could not penetrate the shield. And outside of one of your teammates maybe dropping the shield health, getting hit with an arc thrower blast, or say like a Bile Titan puking on you, or getting run over and just eventually crushed to death by a charger, nothing could penetrate the shield, and it made it badass. I enjoyed it. It's gone from the game. But as you log in today, and if you've not downloaded the update, you're going to see your friends list actually split up. It's going to say somebody's on the new version or the old version, some variant of that. That means that you're not able to play together until you're both on the same version of the game. So if you haven't downloaded the update, you need to do so. It's very short, takes a few seconds, and then you're playing with your friends. All right, let's shift the discussion over to yesterday's Buffdiver update. And now that I've had enough time to go in and hit the bugs and bots on those high difficulties, 9s and 10s, I do have some thoughts, feedback, and suggestions on what I saw yesterday. These are about 5 or 6 different things. Some of them are general, some of them are very specific. And of course, I expect to receive a ton of feedback about your thoughts about everything from yesterday's update, along with everything I'm about to spell out here. So, number 1 has to be overall automaton aiming accuracy. This has been increased. I did not see it anywhere in the patch notes, but I feel it when I play versus the bots. And I've bounced this idea off of other, even more experienced Helldivers players out there, and they're echoing it back to me, and they're saying, yes, it does feel like the bots have been juiced up a bit as far as their aim. And we've read in the patch notes, and we know from previous lore statements that if you basically suppress the bots, it's supposed to decrease their aiming capabilities. Well, I've staggered bots. I've hit them with the auto cannon, so they seem to be staggering on their feet, and they're still getting off miraculous shots around corners and things like that at me. So yeah, they've definitely received some sort of aiming accuracy, even though it was not advertised in those patch notes. Number 2 is going to sound probably overly specific to you, but it's a major gripe for me, and it has to do with the laser cannon. Believe me, I want to love this weapon because there's so many positives about it. It's pushing out massive amounts of damage. It has no recoil. It's catching targets on fire even faster, but unfortunately, I'm just seeing and feeling a major disconnect with it because of the visuals and how difficult it makes it to aim this weapon precisely. Let me explain. When you throw this thing up on your shoulder, first off, you can't see anything over to your right because of this cannon on the right side of your body. I can deal with that. That's somewhat realistic. My issue, number 1 issue, is the sight. There's just too many rings. It's too small. There's too much housing and not enough lens. If there's any way that this thing could be maybe expanded, make the sight bigger, get rid of this holographic look to it. It's not an AR. It's a laser cannon. Just give me a simple crosshair and let me aim this thing. That's the major issue. But then you tack on the fact that when you shoot the laser out of this thing and it connects with the target, it shadows and covers over whatever you're hitting with this splash effect, with this energy emitting out of where you're hitting the target. And so it covers over the weak points that you're trying to aim at. So it makes it very difficult, especially as these bots are moving and attempting to take cover and shooting back at you, to precisely get this thing on target. Please, Arrowhead, do something, give us some compromise there, maybe expand the lens, simplify the reticle within the lens. I want to use this, but I just can't aim it precisely, and I'm pretty decent with my aim, so if I'm saying there's something out there, it maybe needs some attention. Thankfully, my number 3 item is not so drawn out and specific, and it has to do with Hulk Bruisers. Oh my effing god. For those of you who have not seen the changes that Arrowhead have installed into the game for the Bruisers, let me explain this to you. They used to have a rocket launcher on their arm that they could shoot at you. Well, that has been removed with yesterday's update, and instead the Bruisers have command bunker lasers. That's right. The same command bunker lasers that you've grown to hate as you're trying to storm those strongholds, those lasers that can fire from damn near across the board. They can insta-kill you. Well, now they're mobile because the Hulk Bruiser has one on its arm. In my humble opinion, this was a terrible, terrible idea. This thing is insanely overpowered. Now it's mobile. You're getting shot from around cover. The range on them is crazy. If the Bruiser gets line of sight on you before you can down it, you're in big trouble. So once again, I think this was the wrong way to go with the Bruisers. Probably any other weapon would have been a better idea, but command bunker lasers, I've got to say, not a good idea. My number 4 item is probably one you've already noticed that you started making your dives from yesterday into today, and it's the fact that we, Helldivers, are now taking way more damage than I think we should with this new incoming damage modifier. Now, Arrowhead was not specific with the damage ranges that we would take on our legs, our chest, our abdomen, our arms, things like that. The only percentage they gave us was for the head. They had reduced that incoming damage spike from 100% extra headshot damage down to 50. However, I'm seeing damage spikes on certain enemies that I've never seen in the past. Enemies that just take a swipe at you and all of a sudden you're down on a sliver of health. I think that's just been jacked up a bit too much. So once again, my suggestion is maybe if they could trim 25% of the overall incoming damage that we're taking away, that's going to lead to a little healthier experience. Because right now, a puff of wind, a rock, I know I'm dramatizing it here, but if something hits your body right now, you're going to have to pop a stem. That's just the way it is. My number 5 item, and this is something that I feel has gotten a lot worse since yesterday's update went live, and it's the elites in this game not registering sound. We are in the midst of battle and a charger just runs you over because it makes no sound cues. I've seen that now with Impalers, with Bile Titans over on the bots. I actually had an Annihilator tank literally dropped in an inch behind me. I did not hear the dropship. I did not hear the tank until the cannon went off. If you know, you know. So yeah, elite sounds not registering the game feels, at least to me, that it's much worse than it was before yesterday's update. Once again, I'm praising all of the buffs, don't get me wrong, but yeah, this one little facet of it makes it kind of irritating when you're attempting to hold your ground and all of a sudden you're slaughtered by something that should make a ton of sound rolling up on you from behind and just axe murdering you. Once again, I want to reiterate the fact that I'm so thankful and I'm enjoying this update so much. This is Helldivers 1.0. We're back, baby. I just wanted to throw those 5 items out there because they were in the back of my mind after experimenting with all of the new changes. And these are 5 items that, if fixed, I think would make for a healthier game. And speaking of a healthy game, it's time to swap over to your top 3 comments. And as always, if you want to see your name and comment up in lights in my next video, you first need to let it fly on this video. That's right, you gotta put in just a little bit of effort and drop me a comment. And who knows, it might get upvoted enough so that it makes it into the top 3. Taking the number 1 spot for this countdown is Matthew Egler. Again, I've seen that name before, so a repeat winner here. It says, I played 1 game today and everyone in the lobby couldn't stop chanting, "We're back." Yeah, I was hearing that as well yesterday when we were playing. Everyone was decimating their targets. Everyone's primaries were feeling good. The strats were hitting. Oh my God, that 500 kg and that orbital napalm barrage. What? And then those support weapons as well. So I am so happy that everyone is out there and is happy and enjoying the game. It's like, wow. It feels like again, we're returning to the norm. Taking the number 2 spot is Crimson Storm. This is the real Escalation of Freedom update. You can't change my mind. And believe me, Crimson Storm, I'm not going to try to change your mind because I 100% agree with you. Whatever happened back there in August with escalation of boredom or escalation of nerfs, whatever you want to call it, this update went in the complete opposite direction. This is what we needed more of. I am once again in complete agreement with you. And by the way, the use of the EOF in there, talking about how this update is much better than that past update, that one really hits the feels. And by the way, congrats on taking the number 2 spot for this countdown. And bringing up the caboose for this countdown, in the 3rd spot is Jack Howlett VL7EX, who says 80,000 Helldivers active on PlayStation. Sentence of the week: we're so effing back. And I think that's a great place to end this top 3. I can't expand on that. And by the way, congrats to all the winners in this video's countdown. Anyways, sadly, that's all we've got time for today. And as always, I look forward to reading your feedback down in the comments section below. That's right. Leave me a comment. Let me know how you're feeling about yesterday's Buffdiver update, how you're feeling about the changes to the weapons and to the stratagems and to the support weapons, how you're feeling about those enemy changes, and in fact, how are you feeling about playing Helldivers 2 now that that update has gone live? Also, when you're dropping that comment, let me know what your personal favorite loadout is to rock, and also let me know if it's for the bugs or the bots. I will try to give it a shot, and if I select your loadout and use it in my next mission, I'll use that footage and I will give you a shout out, as this is your personal loadout. How about that? I think that's one that we're going to enjoy. Remember to hit subscribe and to ring that notifications bell to receive my latest upload alerts. All my socials, including links to all my sources, can be found down in the video description. Shout out to the nearly 244,000 of you incredible ladies and gents from across the planet. We're nearly to our channel goal of 250,000 subscribers. It's right around the corner. We'll get there eventually. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that sub button. We'd love to have you along for the ride. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer signing off.